What's up, guys? Jade Corner back here again for yet another video in my Fantasy Fights series. And before we get into the video, about 78.4% of you guys who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you guys can subscribe to the channel, helps this channel grow to the goal of 10,000 subscribers before the halfway point of 2021, and that would be greatly appreciated. Now, in today's video, we have one of the most requested videos of all time so far, with me being a part of the series, and that is Niklaus Mikaelson, the original hybrid, versus Sebastian Vallet, the Beast of Gévaudan, and the most powerful werewolf in the world of Teen Wolf we know about so far. Who the hell is coming out on top in this one? Let's find out. Alright, so this might be probably the most even fantasy fight we have so far. So the winning result, don't get mad at me, but I'm going to explain why I came up with the result that I did. So first we're going to start with Klaus. So Klaus Mikaelson is an anti-hero, antagonist of the Vampire Diaries, and the main protagonist and sometimes antagonist anti-hero in the spin-off TV show The Originals, and he currently lives in New Orleans prior to his death. Now, Klaus's powers and abilities include: as an original vampire, later the original hybrid, Klaus is the strongest of the original vampires, despite not being the oldest. His werewolf side has given him an additional powers the others do not possess, making him the most powerful and mortal supernatural being in the world. Although his maternal half-siblings, his stepfather, have been able to fight him on almost even terms. However, this is not enough to defeat him. His powers improve with age. The consumption of human or vampire blood, assuming his werewolf form, or utilizing his lycanthropic enhancements in the full moon. In Live and Let Die, it is shown that Michael is slightly stronger than Klaus. However, it should be noted that Michael was still affected with werewolf venom, and Klaus was not using his full powers. It is likely that if Michael had not been affected with werewolf venom at the time, and Klaus had used his full powers, he would have most definitely overpowered and defeated Michael without any difficulty. Even before Klaus became an original vampire, later the original hybrid, he was a master swordsman. Even though he rarely uses his sword due to his supernatural powers, Klaus's swordsman skills have not diminished. In Every Mother's Son, it has been hinted that Klaus's swordsmanship skills are superior to Michael's. And Klaus is shown to be an expert fighter even when unarmed. When Marcel's army took him on, despite being overwhelmed to begin with, he was able to fight them almost evenly and overpower most of them through his fighting skills and original hybrid powers. In that single fight, he killed roughly 24 non-original vampires single-handedly, showing his skills as a combatant even further. Klaus is far less calm, composed, and strategic in battle than Elijah. Due to his long existence, Klaus has seen countless battles and is very experienced in battle. His supernatural attributes aside, Klaus' greatest asset is his sharp intellect. His penchant for strategies and forming contingencies way ahead of time easily surpasses Elijah's, who is almost Klaus's intellectual equal, as Klaus has outsmarted Elijah on more than one occasion. Klaus is able to discern a great deal of whatever or whoever presented to him after only a few keen observations. He is able to figure out that Hope would be sacrificed to the cemetery because it is where the harvest and the reaping took place, as well as the location of the ancestral witch's burial place. He also came up with a plan to make it look like he has turned against his maternal half-sibling Haley after Elijah daggered him, and after Haley tried to take his daughter Hope away from him in order to gain Dahlia's trust to take her down. According to Dahlia, Klaus is the most intelligent of his maternal half-siblings. Klaus's weaknesses include: he has some of the typical weaknesses of an original vampire and a werewolf in the Vampire Diaries universe. Now that we're done with Klaus, we're going to move on to his opponent in today's video, Sebastian Vallet. The Beast of Gévaudan is a monstrous werewolf who terrorized France in the 1700s. The beast was eventually killed by one of the ancestors of the Argent family of werewolf hunters. In the year 2012, a trio of ancient parascientists known as the Dread Doctors resurrected the beast by summoning its essence into the body of their final chimera, who was revealed to be Mason Hewitt. The Beast of Gévaudan, beast form, is a more larger version of the alpha werewolf's beast form, aka Peter Hale from season 1, being almost twice the size and with more fur covering its body as well as large visible red veins. The face of the beast is also peculiar, being more feline than canine, with an oversized mouth with no lips. Additionally, the beast almost appears as though it's made up of black smoke or shadows, and has been described as looking both solid and shapeless at the time. Instead of eyes like typical werewolves, which have either red, blue, or gold irises, the entire surface of the beast's eyes are glowing white, specifically with an electric blue tint. It is shown that the beast had these traits in its original life, meaning it was never a normal werewolf to begin with. Thus, the strange powers and appearance has nothing to do with the Dread Doctors or it coming from a chimera. Now, Sebastian's powers include: the beast possesses the common powers of a werewolf, but they are extremely heightened and powerful. It was able to create shock waves, much like the Incredible Hulk from Marvel can, when he smashed his hands on the ground and sent Scott McCall and Liam Dunbar flying dozens of feet away from it. It appears to be the most powerful werewolf to ever appear on the series thus far, and it was even able to gain the upper hand in the battle against the Hellhound Jordan Parrish. Even Deucalion, an augmented alpha werewolf, who is also the most powerful alpha we've seen in the history of Teen Wolf, who was self-described as the Demon Wolf, saw the beast as an incredibly dangerous and formidable force to be reckoned with, which says a lot about his level of power. The beast's ability to transform itself is also unusual in that it is able to keep its clothes intact, which was proven when the beast's bloody paw prints, at a crime scene were shown to morph into bloody shoe prints. It's implied that it morphs into its bestial form by wrapping shadows around its human body, though how it does this is not fully understood as of yet. It was recently revealed that it could do this in its original life as well, and was apparently turned not by a bite or a scratch, but by drinking rainwater from the paw print of a wolf, which is absolutely insane. So the beast was never a normal Teen Wolf werewolf to begin with. It's still a werewolf, but it's something completely different that outclasses every single werewolf we've ever seen on the show, and puts its power league above anything we've ever seen the werewolves do in Teen Wolf or any other creature in that fact. The beast's weaknesses include: in its original life, it would have presumably had the same weaknesses of a typical werewolf, though it has been stated that even in the past, it was never a normal werewolf to begin with. According to Sebastian himself, he could not be killed by ordinary steel weapons. According to Gerard Argent, the only effective weapon against it was a special spear made of mistletoe, mountain ash, and the Vallet blood under a full moon in the hands of a young woman. This is similar to how the original's greatest weakness is the white oak stake. The pike is basically Teen Wolf's version of the white oak stake, if you want to look at that, because you can't kill Klaus, you can't kill Elijah, Rebecca, Cole, Finn without that white oak stake, and you can't kill the Beast of Gévaudan without that pike. So you can look at it like that. Mountain ash is effective as a barrier against it, suggesting that it does have the typical weaknesses of a typical werewolf. Deucalion suggested that the beast should also be vulnerable to Canema venom. However, this was proven false and untrue when Theo Vraken attempted to paralyze him in order to steal the beast's power, which utterly failed miserably. Since the resurrected beast was inhabiting the body of a chimera, it was even more of a mystery as to whether it had any weaknesses of a typical werewolf, though it is ultimately susceptible to being killed by the same weapon that killed him in his first life, which was the spear. The only weapon that in fact possibly proved historically effective against the beast, which means throughout all of history, was a steel pike wielded by the Maid of Gévaudan. The steel pike was made from the following that I mentioned before: wolf's mane mountain ash, was forged with the maid's own blood under the light of a full moon. So who do I think is coming out on top in this battle? Well, I think it's a pretty even fight. I think if Klaus can speed blitz Sebastian at the start of their fight, he wins because he can incapacitate Sebastian and not really go for the kill because he wouldn't have the pike, but Klaus could, like I said, incapacitate him and pretty much win that fight. But if the beast transforms, which he normally does anyway, Sebastian never really fights in his human form, then Klaus is in a lot of trouble because the beast is extremely durable. We've seen people try to punch it, and he just shook that shit off like a fucking fly, or not really a fly, but he just shook that shit off like a beefcake, like it was really nothing to him. We've seen punches from Scott McCall, who we know has the power, at least based off his roar alone, to shake an entire church. So the punches from Scott McCall possibly are extremely powerful, and we also know this because the Beast of Jevadan has commented on Scott's power himself. He said although Scott is nowhere near as powerful as he is, he's still very powerful in his own right. He's told this to Scott in the episode Apotheosis. So Scott is pretty strong according to the Beast. Although not as powerful as him, he's very, very strong. So if Scott's already strong in his own right, for the Beast to complement it, and the Beast was eating that shit up like a snack when he was getting punched. Also, the Beast took multiple shotgun shells in that transform state, point blank, and ate that shit up like a beefcake too, and just, retreated because he was getting overpowered by, not really overpowered, but a lot of people were starting to come and try to fight him. Malia, Braden, and Scott was already fighting him. Then I would say that his durability far surpasses Klaus. We've seen Klaus get incapacitated by getting stabbed with regular wood inside of his chest. We've also seen him be incapacitated by gunshots. I'm pretty sure, but I might be mistaken on that as well. And even in Sebastian's human form, he was getting shot point blank in the chest by multiple deputies of Sheriff Stilinski and still ate that shit like a beefcake as well and wasn't affected at all. So Sebastian's durability far surpasses Niklaus Mikaelson's, in my opinion. We've seen Klaus get taken out by conventional weapons such as wooden stakes, although temporarily because it's not white oak, it's still wooden stakes. So Sebastian outclasses Klaus in durability for sure. The only way I could see Klaus even trying to take out the Beast is just speed blitzing him from the start. But we've seen people stab the Beast in the chest before while he was transforming, such as Theo Rakin, and he still was able to successfully transform into his Beast form and knock Theo out unconscious with one swipe. So yeah, I think if Klaus speed blitzes him and Sebastian's already transforming, which is what we've seen Sebastian already do in Teen Wolf, and he sort of puts his hand through Sebastian, I think the fact that Sebastian would have, and him already transforming, that would have no effect on him whatsoever, because we've already seen that happen in Teen Wolf with Theo Rakin and it be unsuccessful. Now, mind you, Klaus is way stronger than Theo, so it might be effective, but I don't know that for sure. But it's just something I want to put out there. But other than that, I see the Beast taking this fight because he outclasses Klaus in physical strength. For sure, we've never seen Klaus be able to create shockwaves just by slamming his hands on the ground and sending people flying dozens of fucking feet. Although we've seen Klaus literally shove people and they go flying into the air. But being able to create literal earth-shattering shockwaves just by smashing his hands down the feet, that's another level of power within itself. Nothing we've seen any of the originals able to do. So the Beast, in my opinion, outclasses Klaus in every single category except speed. So the winner of this fantasy fight is a draw. That's why I said it's going to be probably the most controversial one, because I see this being a draw. Either one of these guys could win. Klaus could win if he immediately goes for the speed advantage and incapacitates the Beast. And once the Beast transforms, Klaus is fucking done for. Klaus would get incapacitated. So that's who I think would come out in this fight. I see it being a draw. So without further ado, I'm Jade's Corner. Let me know how you guys like this video by leaving your comments down below on who you think would win. Also, like, helps this video do better in the algorithm. And without further ado, subscribe to the channel for more fantasy fights videos every single week. Also turn on post notifications so that you never miss a future upload from me. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace, love, and positivity, and I'm out.